Hello, and welcome to the Movie Test of Time, a podcast about revisiting our youth through the only medium that matters, the movies. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your charged, scorching hosts. Joining me, as always, is our other charged and scorching host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's crack?
Um, so I don't know if for those that are watching
Uh-huh.
watching occasionally like I'm recording in an 11-year-old uh her in an 11-year-old's bedroom.
Uh-huh. True.
So, the landscape changes periodically. The giant tree that was over my right shoulder, wait, yeah,
It
your
was.
left, whatever, is now not there. And in its place is a baby bearded dragon.
Yeah.
Her name is Elfie, like from Wicked.
I love it. Oh,
I
okay.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she's adorable. I kind of didn't know that bearded dragons were like the stoner lizards of the reptile community.
Love it.
Yeah, so she's just chill, like I having read the books, the textbooks about bearded dragons, now I know what like stress patterns are that like
Okay.
show up on her skin. So Harper is like, oh, she's stressed. And I'm like, oh my God, she is. But other than that, she just kind of is just like,
I'm
cool.
loving
I ate a cricket, squirt me in the face with water. And
it.
then she's like, nom, nom, nom. So yeah, she's somewhere between 2 weeks and 2 months old.
Okay.
They live for like 10 to 15
Oh,
years.
wow. Mm-hmm.
But me and pets, it'll probably hopefully go another, like I can get it to 20. We
Yeah.
had a rabbit that lived till 11.
Mm-hmm.
So that's happened. We've added a new family member.
Amazing.
Um, I made a friend. I made a real friend.
Uh-huh. Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, so she's my yoga teacher.
Uh-huh.
Um, but she's just cool and she was like, we should totally hang out. And I was like, I know. And like people say that all the time, and then, no one ever follows up. So she did. She was like, do you want to go to hot yoga on Sunday? And I was like, I've never done hot yoga, but I was like, yes, okay. And which is kind of because like inviting me, I was like finding 40 reasons not to do it.
Yeah.
So I really guess I do know exactly what you're talking about. But I said yes. And then that morning she sent me a text and she was like, you don't have to go, but I'm still gonna go. And I was like, and I had that moment where I was like, I totally could come up with like 50 reasons not to go. But I didn't. And we went to hot yoga and like, we just literally, I don't know, for like 5 hours, we just kind of disappeared and did yoga and went out to lunch. And like, you know, it was witchy and it was like food
Hell yeah.
and like finishing each other's sentences. And I was kind
Very
of like,
nice.
I like said something. I don't know. I was just like, I've been waiting for you. Like I've been waiting for you. And
That
she's
rocks.
like, I know. And like, so yeah, it feels
And
good.
and she lives like pretty close to you as well, right?
Like great, like two or three like streets down. So
Amazing.
and I walk to yoga class. So it's just I can't believe that like the universe has dropped this like wonderful, joyous human, you know, in my neighborhood. And like when I'm around her, I realize, me, Andy, like I can be not, just I'm a little salty. I know that, but just being around someone who shows exudes gratitude and joy,
Mm.
even in the face of like whatever, we're all dealing with in life. It's just nice to be around. And it's it's been a while.
That's like it's nice to have that energy. Like, yeah, it's surprisingly rare, actually. I mean, not
It
surprisingly
is.
rare.
No, it totally is. And then I was thinking like when else like we met some guy on the dive boat in Maria and he was like from El Salvador and he was so stoked to be on the dive boat and he was like there was like a remora eel that was like swimming after him this whole dive and he thought it was like most people would be like annoyed or like a little
Yeah,
freaked out. And he was like, that was the coolest thing ever. And Mike's like, I got a picture. And he's like, please send it to me. Like, I love this so much. I saw a turtle. There were sharks everywhere. And there were like
amazing.
two. But he was just so excited and exuberant. And we're like, why are you here? He's like, I'm on my honeymoon. And I was like, man, he's going to have the best life ever
That
with that
works.
attitude.
Yes.
And then
Uh,
thought about all the things that I hate in the world. So
well, someone's got to bring you crashing down to earth. I mean, I can
true.
completely understand slash relate to those
I
thoughts.
know. I know. So yeah, what's up with you? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing. I mean, I'm not gonna say like good. Let's not go crazy here, but I'm doing okay. I had went to an event this past weekend. I don't know if I told you that I was going to it. Do you remember me telling you about
You
something?
did not tell
Okay.
me what you were up
So I don't
to.
think there's any way you'll be able to predict what this is. So I went
Okay.
to, and I just found this out today that it's the first one. So it's the inaugural British Isles Sumo Championship, right?
I'm so jealous
Right?
and excited for you, my friend.
Thanks. It was great fun. So one of our listeners, actually, my friend Kieran, he was the one. He found it, and it was a great pick. He just finds some really great
Nice
activities and
work,
stuff for us to do.
Kieran. Yeah.
And it was a fiver a ticket. It was only like, £15 to compete. And I was like, maybe next year,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it was really entertaining, you know what I mean? Like you go in with a little knowledge, I mean like a very little knowledge of what this is supposed to be exactly. And because it was like the first time they're doing it, they had sumo gyms from Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. Yeah, England.
And where? What's
Last
the
one.
other
Where's
one?
the other one? Where's the other part of the UK? And notice this. That's why it's British Isles, because British Isles is, the way there are like so many different ways to describe this bloody country, and like
Yeah.
the different sort of like in different configurations. So British Isles describes both the entirety of Great Britain and the island of Ireland as well.
Yes.
Um, so. It was great fun, and it was really, and I say, we were kind of just gearing up for the big guys to get in there because like there was so many different weight classes. Because that's you think of sumo, you expect these massive dudes, but there was like women who did it, and there was, but like the big guys didn't come in till near the end, and like I feel like some of the lighter weight classes were like a lot more kind of entertaining and put on, and it really was. And it was just, but it's just all it seems to be about like finding leverage and like positioning and things like that. But it was really interesting.
Were they
Um,
wearing like the sumo
they are,
attire?
but
Okay.
most of them had like gym shorts on underneath, or like
Okay.
some sort of athletic sort of short type things like Under Armour
Yep.
style stuff.
Yep.
Um, so that was really good fun. They ended up with us. We did that. We had a few beers. Then. So the choir, who I'm no longer, doing stuff for, invited me to one of their social events, and there was going to be karaoke there. So I was absolutely
Oh,
a hard, hard, hard yes.
can't say no to that.
I absolutely
That's how
cannot.
we trap an Andy. You're like,
That's
come, there's
yeah.
karaoke. You're like,
That's almost a
okay.
guarantee. It's like all these people you hate are going to be there, but there's karaoke's going to be there. Okay, I mean, there's not only people I do hate, but all these people you don't want to see. Let's put it that way. And it's like, okay, but there's going to be karaoke. Okay, I mean, like sold.
Yep.
Um, So it was really good fun, and like it's mostly me. I don't know whether I've told you that theory about what's going on with me in terms of like I'm pretty certain I'm an introvert, and I think anybody who knows me well kind of understands that. But there is a category of an introvert called extroverted introvert, and I think that's the best sort of like summary of me. Like I don't mind see stand up singing in front of people, no problems, but like see sitting and having a one-on-one conversation with somebody is like a hard pass if I can avoid it.
Totally. Do you find that you need to like, if you've been an extrovert for a certain period of time, do you need to like back into your cave and like recharge?
Very much so.
Uh-huh.
Very much so.
Uh-huh.
And like it has to be like kind of on my terms. Like there's so much stuff like I've talked in terms of like I've done improv, I've been on stage for a variety of different things. And those things certainly bothered me initially, like even the yoga teaching as well. It's kind of performance in a lot
Yeah,
of ways, but like
it is.
after a while, because like you have, control over the, environment, and you can choose you're largely choosing when and where you kind of leave and things like that. It's actually not too bad, and it doesn't stress me out quite as much. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of bobbling. So I
Can we,
also,
no, wait, wait. I just
uh
need to go back to sumo wrestling a little bit.
sure,
So, I mean, did people train for this? Is something that like their hobby is sumo wrestling and they flew, they got on an airplane, packed their bag, flew, got a hotel, and they're like, all right, I'm going to compete this weekend.
yes.
And everyone's like, in what? And they're like, oh, I'm a sumo wrestler. And they're like, oh, interesting. Right? Like, I'm just curious about that process.
I actually had that thought when I was there, which was like,
How
I
to get
really
into
am
this.
I'm happy that they are like able to have this thing, and it's all these other like sumo competitors and stuff like that, and that must be so nice because I can only imagine out in the world whenever people ask, what are you doing this weekend? You're like, oh, I'm going to compete in a sumo tournament. People are like, what? Ah! Like
Yeah.
it's just
And then
they'll be freaking out.
no, their heads explode.
Their heads would explode.
Literally, like blood everywhere.
Yeah, like a proper like scanners moment,
Yeah,
just like a
yeah,
pure head explosion. Yeah. Um.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but like there were a lot of them were wearing like hoodies for their sumo gym. So like there, but it was basically like sumo Scotland or sumo England and things like that. Um. Somebody was wearing what looked like an official sort of competitor's like uniform. Not, I don't think quite Olympic or anything, but like like for a proper athletic thing. So like
Yeah.
maybe they were competing in some sort of like larger sumo competition. I don't know. But what I did notice was that there seemed to be quite a few people who were like also wearing like jiu-jitsu gear. And like
Hmm.
in watching it, I could see that there's probably a fair, maybe that's not fair, but like there is some crossover between those two things. So I think that
Yes.
probably probably things places are also maybe jujitsu gyms might also then offer sumo as a side thing.
Okay, so we're having a sumo and sushi San Diego event
Okay.
here on the Del Mar Fairgrounds
Hmm.
uh
That sounds
in a
rad.
couple weeks.
Do it.
I know. And like no, but it's it's like professional sumo wrestlers from
Okay.
Japan that tour and show you like authentic-ish. I don't know.
I mean, like,
Anyways, but now I'm
sound,
like, and I saw I saw the advert and I was like, ooh,
yeah.
do
Like,
I want to drive to Del Mar for
well,
sumo?
no, that's
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I suppose
that's
more
the
than
thing.
anything.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, this was only in Belfast, so it wasn't so bad for me. But yeah, but I like, sign me up. Like, any sort of new thing whatsoever, or like something I've never tried before. So it was great fun. It was great fun.
Have you done hot yoga?
I have done hot yoga, yeah. I I like it, but I also find it, I mean, not stressful, but like I find the heat kind of to makes me feel a bit crazy. And so yeah, I don't.
You're a Northern Irishman, of course that would happen.
Yes, well, this is so true. I'm still
You're like,
not
this
yet.
is no. It's like for me, it's like, it was 85 yesterday. So like it's 106 Fahrenheit. And so it's like it's not, but what kills me is the humidity because we don't have that here.
Yes,
So it was like 45% humidity, and that's when I'm like, oh my God. I only sweat on my stomach, but I now know I sweat like even like right below my lower lip.
yes.
And then it was like dripping down my chin onto my mat. And I was like, I'm fucking disgusting.
It is. It is weird the amount of sweat that comes off you. Those things. Like the last one that I did was what's it called? I can't remember the exact type of yoga, but it was in a heated studio, and also you're using weights as well, like small
Oh,
weights.
sculpting.
Sculpting. Thank you. So it was so rough, and I was just like drenched with sweat afterwards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, very
Yeah.
interesting. Because like
Okay.
I was just thinking, like, yeah, because it's like 86 Fahrenheit is kind of like a limit where I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah.
fine, but it's starting to get too hot for me. So.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, one
Uh,
last thing.
yes.
Uh-huh.
No, go ahead.
I watched All Quiet on the Western Front as well as a cheery
Oh,
post hangover movie on, on Sunday. Um,
yeah.
it was a beautiful film, but also like quite hard going, and I feel like I feel like I got the message, quicker than you know, about
to get
halfway
through
through
the
the
whole
film.
movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
And then
yep,
it's
yep,
like the
yep.
rest of the movie, and I'm like, yeah, 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 okay, I get it, I
Yeah.
get it. War's
It's been a
awful.
long time since I've seen that. That's not on my like, life rotation,
No,
but it's a wonderful film.
yes, it was great. It was. I'm glad I
Yeah.
watched it.
Yep.
But yeah.
No, you're not.
Um,
You're like, it made me sad.
I did quite enjoy, I thought it was quite entertaining, and like for a film that was like 2.5 hours, I was like, oh Jesus, I watched the whole thing, which is kind of quite remarkable for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
I did that with the movie we're going to talk about.
okay. Oh, nice.
Okay, so the Grammys were over the
Uh-huh.
weekend. Somebody got an EGOT.
Ooh, who
So
got
I'm
an
going to give
ego?
you a couple guesses.
Okay,
You can't Google,
I'm
or
not a
I
big one.
mean, go in your mind palace. Stay out of there.
I
Hands up,
will.
Andy.
Yeah, because I was
Literally has
immediately
his
going to
hands up right
start.
now.
I had to have my hands up. Okay, so are you going to give me options here, or am I just guessing?
I'm going to give you
Wait, so
options.
and it was Grammys. Jeez,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'd be completely shit in the dark. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Okay. It's a famous director.
Okay, I won a Grammy.
Won a Grammy.
Hmm. I don't know. I'm terrible at these things. I'm absolutely
Okay, you
awful.
ready?
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
What did he get it for?
So I guess there's a documentary about John Williams, which I'm like so excited
Oh
about.
yeah, Rocks. Yeah, yeah. We talked about that
Yeah,
before. It's
yes, yes.
incredible.
So yeah, so he I think I don't know, directed, produced, or wrote music or whatever, wrote a song. I don't know how you get a Grammy, you guys. Don't know how, but he got one. So now he's an EGOT.
Amazing. I mean, like well deserved.
I wonder what he did. How did he get a Tony? I'm gonna have to Google that.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Anyways, we will.
Um,
Yes. Also, I think we should dedicate this episode. No, we shouldn't. I just I miss Catherine O'Hara already, and
I
I'm very sad
know.
that she's passed. So,
Yeah, that was kind of a surprising one. She wasn't even that. I mean, like she was old, but like she wasn't like
no, she's
old.
71. I
71.
think I
Yeah.
think she had I just because I mean, it's hard to know. It's in the era of, GLP-1s. It's hard to know who's losing weight and who's got a health issue, right?
Yeah.
And I think I just watching her in the studio, I was like, something's going on there.
Yeah, I'd
And
forgotten about that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so, but and coming from someone whose father also did not tell anyone he had cancer for 3.5 years,
Hmm.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. So true.
I'm sad she's passed. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I have some what's a current.
Oh yeah. What do you got for us?
Someone told us because I was like, documentaries, we should watch some. So,
Yes.
some nice, lovely human, and it was like, you should add the Melania documentary to your list. And I was like, too soon,
No.
too soon. Yes, I have a dadcore joke.
Okay.
Why did Paul Mescal take his wife to the edge of a cliff?
I don't know.
Tequila.
Oh Lord.
Have I said this joke before?
What, that joke that you just told me right there?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
felt
think so.
familiar. Okay, good. Because I was like, if I've told this before, then it really is dadcore, because that means this person, our top fan, has sent this joke to me twice. But if you're saying that no, you haven't heard
That
it, then
does not
that,
sound familiar to me at all.
that's me
So.
making it up in my head. Okay, forgiven. Also, our number one fan said, I don't want to get Andy in trouble, but I think Patriot Games is a rare example of a film that portrays the IRA unsympathetically and and as unambiguously villainous. Sorry, my mouth is full of marbles today.
Mhm.
Whereas far too many films go shamefully easy on them. So, and you don't have to
Uh,
respond because you'll get in trouble in some way.
it makes him like here's the thing. It also does a bit of a get out of jail free clause in that movie in that they are not the IRA as such. They are like a splinter group of the
Yes.
IRA, so they're
Yes.
kind of like are like it's still kind of fictionalized in an all sort of way. So it's kind of like all over the place in that regard.
Yep.
But that's all I'm gonna say in the
That's
matter.
right. Um,
Um
Do you have any down to the streets?
Um, I do not have any down with the streets. No, unfortunately.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we are in our, I hate the term era. Mike's realized that and is calling everything vibes and era now. He's like, it's in my, I mean, in my, I don't even know.
Well,
They're
like we're
usually
in
just,
our Samuel L. Jackson era. Is that
we
what
are
you
in
you
our
don't
Samuel
want
L. Jackson. I don't want to say that, but
to?
we're
Sure.
just in our month of Samuel L. Jackson because an era, Mike's like, a geologic era is a very long fucking
Yeah.
time. And I was like, yeah. So
Um. Yeah.
doesn't really work for humans, I don't think, to have eras.
It doesn't it
Anyways,
doesn't stop humans from using
heck
words like
no.
that though, you know. So
Words mean
it's
nothing.
true.
Okay, so I have some Samuel L. Jackson facts
Uh-huh.
that have nothing to do with this movie, but just so people know a little bit more about Samuel L. Jackson. So the success of The Incredibles, the 2004 film, enabled Jackson to surpass Harrison Ford, which is funny because that was our crossover
Hmm.
from our last batch of Harrison Ford movies. We moved on to Samuel L. Jackson as the actor whose movies have grossed the most money in the world, in excess of 3 billion. Uh, so yeah, through 2016, Ford's resurpassed him due to the massive success of Star Wars: The Force Awakens in 2015. He was an admitted drug user until he completed drug rehab 2 weeks before playing the drug addict in Jungle Fever in 1991.
Oh, interesting.
So he's hardcore. That's hardcore. Proud of you, bud.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Uh, I like this one. Like Christopher Walken, he makes films for the pleasure he gets out of acting, regardless of how the film turns out. Do you think that's true?
I
Are
don't
people like,
know.
it bombed, but it was sure fun to make, and then moves on?
Yeah, that's a sorry, I have been as you've been mentioning that I thought Samuel L. Jackson was back on top because of all the Marvel movies and stuff he'd appeared in, but I might be wrong.
I'm gonna give you, okay, nope. So, his films, yeah, I don't, this is confusing. Maybe I'll have to relook at that. Okay, this one I like too. The Guinness World Records named Samuel L. Jackson as the highest grossing film actor of all time. So yes, taking more than 7.4 billion at the box
Okay,
office.
okay,
The
okay.
residuals alone earn him about $300,000 a year.
Nice.
I know.
Good for him. That
I
rocks.
know. I want residuals. How
Yeah,
does
no,
that
wouldn't it be
happen?
nice? I know. Especially that
Yeah.
those sorts of residuals would be absolutely insane.
The yeah.
Um,
Okay, one more thing. He intended to become a marine biologist before discovering acting in college. So I wonder if that's why he decided to be in Sphere. Anyways,
and that disabused him of that notion forever. He's like, what have I
right? He
done?
was like, nope.
Um, all right, shall we get into our subject for the week in that case?
Yes,
Which
yes.
is do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Second in our well, third technically in our Samuel L. Jackson season. It's an interesting one because like nearly all of the films that we have picked, and I think this is going to be the case throughout the month, is that like he's not the major part of these films. And then I started like going down a rabbit hole of thinking how many kind of like
Has
films has he been the lead in? And people are like, of course he's been the lead in things. And then they start thinking about it and they're like, he never really is. Like he is like a very important supporting player in many films, but it's so rare that he has ever taken a lead role.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of interesting. I think it's one of the things that makes him so like as a subject for this, no matter what we do, we are going to be missing, you know, big chunks of his filmography. But it's a good reason for us to go back and revisit him at some
agreed.
stage, you know.
Agreed. Um, yeah, I had the same thought, and I haven't gone and looked, but the only thing I was like, what can I think of without, you know, with just using my mind palace? I think like Black Snake Moan he starred
That
in with
that's the only
Christina
one that came
Ricci.
to mind for me. And I did
Yeah,
look through his filmography, and there has been a couple others that's kind of, but really he doesn't do it. He doesn't do lead at
no.
all.
But even as like a supporting character, even it's interesting because my memory of him in these movies, he's like in them,
Yes,
right?
he is.
But very, very like sporadically and not for very long, come to find out.
Yeah,
At least the ones that we're watching from like long ago, not long ago. It's
he's
not that
just so
long, you
good,
guys.
is the
Shh,
thing.
we're not old. We're not old. Yeah,
No,
he's
us? No,
just so fucking watchable.
it's true.
And I loved his character in this movie. I think, you know, the DJ Senior Love Daddy is probably the best character name that ever existed.
Yeah,
And
lots.
like my dad used to refer to himself as Senior Love Daddy. He'd be like, it's
Amazing.
Senior Love Daddy. And like I didn't know that until I watched the movie and then I was like, oh, nothing's original.
So no, no, it's it's just sort of taking a fun new spin on things. I think that
Mhm.
like so many good character names in this, but like he is in particular a standout, which makes sense as a DJ. There's a guy called, is it Slick Dick Willie?
Slick Dick Willie. Yeah,
That's
I
no
wrote some
sweet,
of these
sorry,
down.
sweet Dick Willie,
Yes.
which is also a very funny name. Um,
Yeah.
I
DeMayor, Mother Sister, Bugging Out, Radio Raheem,
yeah,
Smiley.
Bugging Out's a great name as well. Like, and they
I
actually call him Bugging
know.
Out, wonderful.
The
Um,
guy, yeah, the guy that plays Bugging Out, did you recognize him?
yes, Giancarlo Esposito,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's it's so wild, like it's just star-studded. You just see new people all the time. You're like, wow,
Everybody is in this
yeah.
fucking
Like
movie.
even like Martin Lawrence as like a background, not a background actor, but because he has a few lines, but not many.
No, and that
It's
was his
wild.
first film. That was his
Was that his
first
first?
film.
And also, Rosie Perez's first film as well.
Yes, it was. I
Like
have a
crazy
story
stuff.
about Rosie Perez that we'll get
Okay,
to. Okay, I'm going to tell you it now.
okay.
Okay, according to Spike Lee, the casting of Rosie Perez came during a birthday party he was hosting in a club in LA. When the R&B song "Debut" by Experience Unlimited from his previous movie School Days started playing, a spontaneous butt contest was held. Lee saw Perez dancing on top of a speaker and told her to come down, fearing she would fall off and hurt herself and he would get sued. Security had to step in to force Perez down. After learning uh, and then she profusely cursed at Lee. Lee was in awe of her voice and quickly learned that they were both in the same part of Brooklyn. He offered her the part of Mookie's girlfriend on the spot, deciding that she'd be Puerto Rican, but Perez tells it differently in interviews. She said that Lee started the butt contest himself to see which black woman had the biggest butt. She also said she thought Lee was hitting on her at first and ignored him, and she didn't find out later that it was for a role in his movie.
Wow. I mean,
The
like
butt.
that makes sense as the sort of thing a guy would do. It's like John Apartment movie. It's like, oh yeah, okay, okay,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
Um, it is kind of funny, like casting this beautiful woman as his girlfriend. I always think that's it's like the friggin' John Favreau chef maneuver where he what is either
Oh,
Scarlett Johansson
Sophia.
and Sophia, I forget her name from
Yeah. Yep.
Modern
Yes.
Family.
Yes.
Um,
Gregera?
something along those lines.
Yeah, sorry. I
But
never
like
watched
basically
Modern
one of
Family.
those is his like ex-wife and one of them's his current girlfriend or something. It's like, okay, nice, John. Yeah, real nice.
Yep, yep, yep.
Um,
He's still swingers.
yeah. So do
He's
you want
probably married, but yeah.
to do you want to give everybody a quick
Yes.
overview?
So this is a dark comedy, but on the hottest day of the
Yeah.
year, on a street in Bedford, Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn, everyone's hate and bigotry smolders and builds until it explodes into violence.
Yeah.
Dark comedy.
That's when we start comedy. I was like, that yeah, I can kind of see it because it's like kind of even like goofy in places, like
Yes.
it's silly and
Yes.
like larger than life, but then
Yes.
it gets quite serious. And like I think as I was watching it, I was thinking it's maybe not exactly the same sort of shape as this, but like the sort of constant pressure cooker, especially the heat, such a great motif having like this, what heat does to people for a start, in terms of like adding fuel to the fire of tensions that were already existing.
Yep.
But like I was thinking about the kind of like steadily building pressure you see in the like Safdie brothers films, like Uncut Gems and things like that. And I wonder, whether this was an influence on them. It just kind of, I just started seeing connective tissue between them,
Mhm.
it made me think of those movies.
I also thought it was interesting, like these characters are so fleshed out and so good. Not good. They're like you start, in the beginning, you're like, oh, Mookie's cool. And like, then you're like, oh, he's a dad. Oh, he's like a deadbeat dad. Oh, he's not
Yeah,
really like a hard worker, but like everybody in the neighborhood. So he's human, right? And then you're
yeah,
like, the guy that Daniel Leo, that plays the character of Sal, like he's, the guy that makes pizzas for everybody in the neighborhood. He's trying to broker peace all day long between his sons and Mookie. But then, he's you know, by the he at the end, when he switches his flip switches and he's using the N-word and he's screaming and he gets a baseball bat and you're like, whoa, like
yeah,
no, I thought you were like the good guy, and he's hitting on Mookie's sister, right? And he's like, leave her alone. And so it's just like these, and then you have Demea, the
yeah.
mayor,
Hmm.
who's, this sweet old man. He's trying to, just make enough money to pay for his Miller High Lives.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, he had 5 kids and like he left them, and to deal with that, like he's drinking and avoiding that whole thing. So the the setup of the characters, the more you learn about them, the more human they become. And I just thought that that was so interesting that, he makes Spike Lee, at least and this is just my opinion, but he makes every single character fallible. And
Yes, it
that's
is
that's
true.
that's that's like that's humanity. Like none
Yeah.
of us are perfect and we all have, our um and yeah, our, all the parts of us, the good, the bad, the ugly, right?
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
No, you're spot on, and I think that is like, and I could see how, like, it's one of the things that I have, butted heads with people before in terms of like opinions on movies, because like, some people are just like, I have nobody to root for, like, there's no heroes, there's no like traditional sort of like good guys, and I'm like, I think it's a shame that people seem to need that, It's like, I think it's much more interesting and much more compelling to see
Mhm.
like these people who are like figuring it out and like doing badly sometimes, and like
Yeah.
maybe hurting people along the way. It's like it's much more realistic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was no, very interesting to say. Like, I think I said to Beth, I think maybe before the podcast started, maybe during the podcast, who knows? That I do not think I've seen this all the way through before, and I don't think because the ending, what happens at the end, did not ring
Mhm.
any bells for me. I've seen a
Mhm.
lot of it, I think many times before, but just not seen the whole thing. And yeah, really effective, and like especially for somebody who, I'm going to talk about him in a second, who like had only a handful of movies under his belt at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was directed by Spike Lee. So this was the film that really kind of launched his career, and I think got a lot of critical and commercial success. Also got him an Oscar nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay, I think. Best
Yep.
Original Screenplay.
Yep.
Um, what also I found interesting, because I feel like I have heard this like throughout my life, was that there was controversy with this film at the time because they thought it would incite violence.
Yes.
Even with like Civil War a couple of years ago, or there was something
Yes.
else as well in the recent past. And it's like, you know, I fairly as much as there's a lot of comedic sort of like goofy moments in it, it is a pretty kind of unflinching portrayal of tensions. I'd say not just at the time, tensions that persist to today, and a really kind of interesting and a kind of like we talked about the characters that felt well rounded and stuff like that. So whenever you see them in that situation, it really does bring it home in terms of like how easily these things can boil over into like really bad situations,
Yeah. Yeah.
which we're seeing play out today in different shape.
Yeah. And like, but for the music and the clothing,
Hmm.
um, I always like to ask that question, like, is it still relevant? Is it still topical?
Yep.
I'm just like, it could have been made yesterday
Absolutely.
in
Yeah.
any city.
I,
Um,
I think that
so
like and I think he makes it accessible as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think that because it's an entertaining movie too, and
Yeah.
it's hard to beat an entertaining movie that also really makes you think about some stuff as well. And like you know, really, really pulled it off with this. Though, so like loved it, but also I was just looking at his movie career a little bit, and I was just like, one of the things I keep forgetting about Spike Lee's film career is that he's the guy that did the Old Boy remake, and it's so weird to me that he was the guy.
I don't think
Yeah,
I've
just such a like a for hire sort of job that for for maybe, who knows what situation the studios were in at the time,
seen
but it was just such a, I mean, like, generally I think Old Boy an odd one to remake anyway, and Spike Lee did it. It's like odd, very odd.
2013?
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, so there you go. Weird.
Interesting. Weird. Interesting.
Um, but yeah, Spike Lee. I think, hopefully not the last time we'll see him in one of our kind of months,
No,
because
no, no,
it
no.
was nice. It was really lovely to kind of watch, and I've only
Oh
seen a
my
handful of
God.
his
I
films.
want you to see He Got Game. So we
Yeah,
need
I
to
don't think I
do
haven't seen
this.
it. No.
Oh, so uh not to make it about me,
Sure.
but I saw him speak in college.
Uh-huh. Oh yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he was talking a lot about academics and sports and how um there's it was just in it was I thought he was going to talk about movies and he was like, no, like I'm here to actually like I have things I need to say and you need to hear them, which I actually appreciated very much. He was talking a lot about how there's like a system of getting, you know, um poor, often, Black African American people to go to college, to play college sports on full scholarships or whatever, but you know, they don't really the focus is not get your education. The focus is like you know, get your sporting done and then
Yeah.
hopefully you'll, become a pro, but like the odds of becoming a pro, they're slim,
Yeah.
it's like lots of people are in, college sports, very few of them make it into the professional league.
Yeah.
And so then you've got someone who, you know, did maybe, didn't get a degree that they were really interested in. They're just there to play. And what do they do after
Yeah.
that? And it's, not setting them up for success and setting them up for not being able to really take care of themselves and become like who they were meant to be kind of thing.
Because
So
yeah,
He
like,
Got Game is a lot about that,
okay,
but it's Denzel Washington is in it and I just fucking love that movie. So
movie
I'm
like,
just pitching a Spike Lee joint month at some point.
I mean, we cannot. You're like even a Denzel season as well, because there are
Yeah,
so many Denzel Washington
I
films I've not seen.
know. That might take 2 months.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. So much material for us today. Um, okay. Did you have short about story, or shall I go on to music?
Um, yeah, I would like to talk about the screenplay. So,
Okay.
it was written by Shelton Jackson Lee,
Uh-huh.
otherwise known as Spike Lee. Sorry.
Oh,
Now
interesting.
you know
Okay.
his real name. It got 21 wins and 19 nominations. It
Nice.
was nominated for 2 Oscars. So it
Okay.
won 21 other awards and it did not win any Oscars.
Okay. Okay.
I'll come back to that. Okay, so he's the writer, the director, of the actor of this movie. He conceived the idea for Do the Right Thing after discussing, and I love how everyone knows each other. It just kills me.
I know.
And especially everyone from New York. Like I'm watching, this is off topic, but I'm watching the documentary about it's called Mr. Scorsese,
Oh,
and
uh-huh.
like it's so good. It's just I love that they're all like from, from down the block or like from the same neighborhood or from Brooklyn or Queens or whatever, but
Yeah.
like also these documentaries about like all of these, I just watched the John Candy one and obviously we talked about the Chevy Chase one and then Martin Scorsese, but I'm also like they're making these documentaries about themselves because they're getting older and we're just gonna and then I get sad. Anyways,
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, conceive or do the right thing after discussing a 1986 incident at Howard Beach in Queens with actor Robert De Niro. This incident involved an attack on African American men in a predominantly Italian American neighborhood, resulting in one victim being struck by a car and killed. Lee was also influenced by the Alfred Hitchcock Presents episode Shopping for Death, in which the main characters discuss their theory that hot weather increases violent tendencies, and also the killing of Eleanor Bumpers by the NYPD police over a New York City health housing authority welfare check. Do you guys have welfare
Jesus.
checks? Like
Yeah.
checking on someone to make sure they're okay?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
then, yep.
That's
So
nuts.
he just based on that conversation and like these other things that he'd seen and things that were happening in the news, he wrote the screenplay in 2 weeks.
Wow. Incredible.
Okay, so then coming back to the 21 wins and the 19 nominations,
Uh-huh.
during the 1990 Oscar ceremony, they were announcing Best Picture nominees, and Kim Basinger caused some controversy when she ignored her scripted text and said, "We've got five great films here, and they're great for one reason, because they tell the truth. But there's one film missing from the list that deserves to be on it because, ironically, it might be the best truth of all, and that's Do the Right Thing." And Spike Lee would let her, like 2019, he was on Unspooled, and he was like, Kim Basinger did the right thing in
Yep.
saying that. So, um,
It's
yeah,
really interesting because, like, and it's there was the talk with that podcast I told you about that's about like the Oscar chat is
I
so
started listening to
yeah.
it because you told me
Yeah,
to,
nice.
and I'm
I
loving
thought, yeah, I thought
it.
you would dig it because like they talk before the announcements were made. They were like, Sinners has to be on there and has to be well
Yes,
represented, or it will be a
yes,
problem. And I think that
yes,
was certainly an issue probably back then. What it would have been 1990 Oscars probably when this was on. Whereas like a lot of kind of black voices and things like that, and black filmmakers, actors, and so on would get ignored or would not get represented. So it's really nice to see that, because like. Sinners was such a good movie, and it was a crowd pleaser, and it was it's well made. It
it's a
deserves.
horror movie
Yeah,
too, which is like,
exactly.
how often does a horror movie get nominated for
It
Best
rocks.
Picture?
It absolutely rocks. Um, okay. Um, shall we talk a little bit about the music for the film?
Yes,
So,
please.
by a composer called Bill Lee, who predominantly was a musician. He was a bassist. He was best known for his work with Bob Dylan and Aretha Franklin. But it sounds like for session bands, he was like a one of the first people you would call. If you're looking for a bassist, he was one of the first people you would call. So like there is a laundry list of like incredible not just like soul kind of music, but also like um Woody Guthrie, I guess, country and kind of
Yeah,
like um folk and things like that. Like he just was he had such a broad spectrum of like sort of music that he did. So yeah, he did. It just it is like a true like it's worth kind of having a look, seeing all the people he worked with, but it was nuts. It was really fantastic. But I saw his name, right? And I was like, oh, Bill Lee, nepotism. And jokingly, and then I realized, no, he is actually Spike Lee's dad. So, uh, not nepotism though, because he is an incredibly talented musician. But I was like, oh, there you go. So that there is a connection and a very direct connection. So yeah, but really great stuff. As I say, he only did a handful of movies, but as a session player, he was had an incredible body of work.
that's amazing. So, I I don't know. I appreciate nepotism. I think I
Well,
do.
I mean, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
So Jade, his sister, is in this movie, is his sister in real life.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So his dad was, it's like, it's kind of like Christopher Nolan, who keeps working with the same people. It's like at some point that's a little, it's not nepotism, but that's something else. But that, it's like you have your favorites, right? It's like,
Yeah.
who's Scorsese without De Niro, right? Like,
Yes.
so
I think that, there's definitely something to having a working relationship with somebody. It's the people that you know the best that you will often have good working relationships with, and that is
Yeah.
oftentimes family and things like that, you know. So
Well,
like,
it's which is crazy to me because like
yeah, well, it's
families
true.
are supposed to be nuts and not get along. So when it works well, I'm just like, heck yeah,
It's
you
true.
know,
But I think
like the
something,
Duffer Brothers.
yeah, that's true. But I
That's
mean,
such
they're,
nepotism. Not really. They're brothers. They're
yeah,
twins,
I mean,
right?
like, I'm bringing up the Safdies again because I was talking about them earlier, and they had a big
Right.
split. They had a big split as well. So like,
Did
worked
they?
together for years.
Oh,
Yeah, they both had
yeah.
their own films over the past year. So yeah, they're doing their
Is
own
it
thing for now.
Oasis, the band that with the brothers that hate each other?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Good
bloody
job,
Oasis.
Lee family, for,
Right.
hanging out with
Just
each
being
other and supporting each other.
yeah, and just being talented people generally.
Yeah, fucking A.
Um,
Okay. That's
mhm.
interesting.
So yeah, but it was good. The music generally was good. Like, and obviously, like it wasn't just like a composer led film musically. There was tons of like incredible tracks, like Public Enemy songs and things like that. One
Yes.
that like is kind of the motif of the movie generally.
Hmm. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna look at my notes as
Hmm.
I kind of do notes as I'm watching. Yeah, I think so Fight the Power is
Yep.
for, for those who have not seen the movie, there's an intro where Rosie Perez is dancing,
Yep.
as Andy brought up, but she's dancing to Fight the Power and she's like in different outfits, like cute dresses, dressed as a boxer. And I'm just like, this intro is like, it might, I don't know. There's nothing like it. I
Yeah.
remember seeing it for the first time as a kid, just being like, what?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I get excited to watch that. And like I used to like fast forward it on my VCR, and now I'm like, no, this is art that I want to be seeing.
It
Um,
it's not like, I mean, because I think I had forgotten as well what it was. And I was like, whoa, okay. And it's so like explosive and in your face, and it's just kind of like
yes.
it's just such a wild, wide open movie, but it's great.
Yeah. So then there's Radio Raheem, who's got his like
Hmm.
uh giant stereo system. Was that a thing for you guys?
Not really.
Like walking around with your own tunes, but like on a really big,
I'm
I'm there's a term I'm not going to use for what they used to call them.
sure. I
So,
I am aware of it being a thing that happened in sort of like Western culture, but I never
yeah.
encountered it in real life. I did know people that used to carry around. There was a guy when I worked in like the second hand, like the pawn shop many years ago in uni. There was a guy that used to like carry around like a radio that he would just like have, but it wasn't like look how it was like a I don't know what was going on like it wasn't like this, but that's the closest I experienced it, you know.
Hmm. They still do that in like little places in South Pacific.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And we're Radio Raheem's like, I need like 20 like D batteries. Like
Yeah.
those are the expensive big ones. So
Yeah,
that's commitment.
it
I
is.
was like,
I
heck yeah.
did you encounter like did you say whenever you were younger?
I mean, not really. Kentucky, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then I lived in a predominantly like white suburb,
Yeah. I
so
it would probably be like it would be into my thinking like more of a city thing. Do you know
it
what I
would
mean?
be, yeah. So if I would go to like downtown Portland, yeah, you would
Uh-huh.
absolutely see people that would have, a stereo system. And it's kind of like when a car drives next to you and like you roll your window down a little bit to see what tunes are they listening to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's
true.
like I want to know what you're hearing and what you're listening to.
I have another question as well while it's in my head about like
Yeah.
things that happened in America's past. So, because I saw a mailman at one point and he's wearing like a pith helmet.
Yeah.
Do you remember that being a thing?
It's still a thing.
Really? Do they still wear
Yeah.
them
No,
now?
our mailman wears a pith helmet.
That's amazing. I didn't
I don't
realize.
know why, I guess. Like, why would he wear a pith helmet? But yeah, no, it's like standard.
That's such a interesting choice. I don't think I think I like it reminded me that I have seen it in films before, but like I
Yeah.
was just like I wonder is that still a thing? Apparently so. Wow.
I'm gonna like stalk my mailman and be like, can I take a picture
Just
of you?
like
And
these pictures like
why do you
right.
have a pith helmet on? I've never thought about that. Yeah, that's so interesting.
Amazing. So I'll just have all these like shots through your blinds of like
Yeah.
the mailman.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
He's not very
excited for
friendly.
that.
He never waves at me.
Okay.
That's okay. So, yeah, I really, I just, there are no perfect films, right? But this is pretty close to fucking perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And the reasons that it's perfect are sad,
Yeah,
but like I feel like, this is obviously, you know, class, racism, you know, police interference and action, not inaction and action,
sure.
and whether it's warranted, different cultures all sort of being in this place and, what comes from that. But
Such like a time capsule sort of thing as well. Do you know what I mean? Such a
yes,
great slice of, late 80s,
yeah.
specifically, big cities as well. It really is.
But it was interesting, there's the character of Smiley, and he's carrying around photos of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And those, so the title of the film comes from a Malcolm X quotation um, that goes, "You've got to do the right thing." And I think it's just interesting because, you know, I'm just saying, generally people believe that Malcolm X was, willing to fight, and Martin Luther King Jr. was trying to use peace, um, and um, peaceful protesting,
Yeah,
and that, you know, plays into this in many ways, I think.
yeah,
Um, but there's Smiley who never smiles in the movie, right?
yeah, yeah.
Except
It's
at the
true.
very end where he puts a photo of the two of them, of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., like shaking hands, and it's colored and he's written all over it, and he puts it on the wall in this Italian restaurant, and that's been sort of the everyone's seen this movie, so I don't need to explain to you. But I just thought that was interesting, and then he smiled.
Yeah.
So, um,
So
do you
I,
want some quick facts?
yeah, I got one. Yes, I one that I wanted to talk about, which was that the mayor and mother sister are married in real life. Did you know that one?
I saw that.
So
That made me
nice.
happy.
Apparently
And
they've
so
like
when
appeared in a ton of films and stuff together. But yeah, that's lovely.
yeah, I think he's passed. I'm not sure about her, but
Yes.
yeah, I love that they hate each other, in this
Yeah.
movie, but he was like, one of these days, yeah, you're gonna like me. And then at the end, she's, again, like mother sister, like, watching over the neighborhood, but then she's the one that yells, burn it down or whatever. And
Yeah.
then she's also the one that's yelling no as all of the burning it down is happening, and the anger and the fighting and the destruction. And he, DeMayer holds her, and that was just such a, like, there's so many it's like, this is, I don't know. This is, you know, I know it's in like the top 100. I'm such a redneck, you guys. I'm sorry. It's in the top 100 best movies of all time.
Hmm. No, that makes sense. That makes a ton of
Um,
sense.
so Radio Raheem's explanation. So he's got these rings on his knuckles. One says love, one says hate. I was like, I thought this was like Spike Lee's creation. But I hadn't seen anything like that before, but I've seen lots of like reproductions of it. It's actually an homage to the speech that Robert Mitchum's preacher gives in The Night of the Hunter from 1955. Spike Lee went to NY, or yeah, he went to NYU's film school. Um, Same school that Scorsese went to, so like he really knows his films. And this just shows that. So the preacher has love and hate tattooed on his knuckles, which I
Yeah.
did not know. Did you know that, speaking of nepotism, let's see, where's that note? Sorry, to give people piece of paper. Um, so Sal's sons,
Yes.
one of them's John Turturro,
Yeah.
the other one is Vito, uh, who, or sorry, yeah, and that's his son,
Yes.
Danny's son. So they're related in real life, which I did not
Oh,
know.
wait, Danny Aiello
Um, yeah,
and Vito are oh interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's his son.
Fascinating.
So the key scene when Danny and John, so Sal and whatever his John Turturro's, it doesn't matter. Anyways, they talk alone approximately midway through the film, was partially improvised. The scripted scene ended up as the character Smiley approached the window. Everything after that until the end of the scene is completely ad-libbed, which, good job. I
Fascinating.
like when a director and a writer and an actor in one movie, all the same things, can be like, yep, that worked well. Not my writing, but I'm going to keep it in.
Yeah.
Robert De
Well,
Niro was supposed to be the role of Sal, but De Niro turned down the part, saying it was too similar to many of the parts that he had played. But De Niro's photo, I noticed this, was one of the pictures because Sal's got his Italian Wall
Wall
of
of Fame.
Fame, and yeah, you got De Niro on there.
Yeah.
Um, the opening sequence with Rosie Perez, where she's dancing to fight the power, was inspired by the opening credit sequence with Anne Margaret in Bye Bye Birdie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just
It's just like I love
interesting.
interpretation and
Yeah.
like pulling ideas, and then it becomes something totally different and cool.
Not in 100 years would I have pulled
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
I know. I had the same reaction. So the character of Smiley was not originally in the script at all.
Hmm.
And Roger Smith, I don't know how to pronounce his middle name, Guinevere
Hmm.
Smith, approached Spike Lee requesting a role, and his scenes were added during the shooting, which I appreciated.
That's
The
cool.
Yep, best fact, the word fuck is used approximately 240 times in the film, an average of rate of 2 per minute. What do you think our average rate is, Andy?
I mean, like, I'd get those numbers up for
Ah, yeah.
sure.
Gee, fuck.
I don't think that high, but certainly like high.
Yeah.
There was an episode like we did years ago, and I used like fuck 3 times in one sentence, and I'm like, I need to take this out. I need to just remove this section
Did you?
because I sound like an idiot. I did, yeah. Um,
Ha.
I think it was that's I think that's the first and only time I've removed anything, but I remember doing it and afterwards going, wow, it was like it is often used as swear words are often used as punctuation in this country. I find I don't like
Yeah.
doing it, but
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm like my brain's kind of like glitching out, it
Yeah.
happens and I don't
Yeah.
like it.
Well, and our household is just, I mean, you should hear Mike's parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he
Amazing.
grew up like, and mine too, that
Yeah.
my parents didn't say the F word, but my dad would say every other word,
Love it.
known to any, yeah. So yeah,
Amazing. Shall we get to our final few sections?
I think so.
Um, I mean, this is such possibly the most difficult too legit to fit ever. Because like there's so many good fits throughout the film. Now the
I know.
one disadvantage most people have is because it's over one day, everybody's broadly wearing the same outfit. Not always, like my two main competitors here were his sister.
Yes.
I especially like her hat with her hair coming through it. That's
Fucking
such a
A.
killer look.
It
And
totally.
Rosie Perez's character, and I think it has to go to Rosie Perez because she has like a number of different looks. All of them are killer.
Yeah.
So gotta go to
And her
Rosie
like
Perez. Yeah, her hair,
sides, her
it's like
hair is like, it's a
a side
huge
quiff,
side. Yeah.
or actually more like a side pompadour type thing or something.
It's 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 a side, yeah, not I've not seen that look in a while. I think
Oh,
it needs to come back
it
because
rocks.
she totally rocks it.
Maybe that's the hairstyle I need to look into for
Maybe,
me.
maybe.
Um,
It
okay,
might require some,
like
Aquanet, but
probably like a barrel of like hairspray.
yeah, you just
Yeah,
dunk it, and then
great.
like you have 3 seconds to get it to set.
Yeah. Um, so I don't think there were any animals in this, right? So this is an off week for the
Yeah, no.
animals, the Andy's
Yeah.
Animal Acting Award. Sorry,
Yep.
sorry, animal fans. I'm as disappointed as you are. Um, So the final thing to ask Beth is, would you revisit, remember, refuse, or redo Do the Right
I
Thing?
would revisit
Yeah,
this.
I think it's an easy revisit.
I like get on it, folks. It's still topical. Please watch it. Um, and I was just like, I'm something that makes me sad
Hmm.
because I had this thought. In interviews, Spike Lee likes to point out that white people only ever ask why Mookie throws the trash can.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think that matters.
No.
But you know, I think that in general, like if you're going to occupy a shared space, with a different party, like you have to find ways to get along. Um, but we have to respect each other in order to survive. And I just think that this is a really good commentary on that.
Yeah. Some really
So,
effective, and then, like it ends with like two quotes, a quote from Martin Luther King and a quote from Malcolm X that are really kind of profound as well, and they're definitely worth seeking out. I don't have them to hand here, but yeah.
yeah,
But great stuff. Definitely
yeah,
worth a revisit
yep,
if you haven't seen it, it's absolutely worth a watch. I think
yeah.
you'll really enjoy it.
And now you know all the spoilers. No,
Yeah.
we didn't tell you all the
We didn't
spoilers.
talk about exactly what happened at the end. So there is
No.
the basically what happens with the like inciting, or not the inciting incident, but like the kind of thing that it centers around near the end. We didn't talk about.
Mhm.
But yeah, just a hot day that leads to a outbreak of violence, let's say.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah. So Beth, what has been bringing you joy this week?
I started A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms,
Oh, interesting. Hmm.
which is like another spin-off from Game of Thrones,
Yep.
which like the last one I was like what is House
House
of
of the
Dragons or
Dragon.
whatever.
Hmm.
House of the Dragon. It was fine. I was like, okay, I'm waiting for more. But the A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is funny
It is.
and gross.
Yeah.
And like, that one of the opening scenes is like this giant dude who's, the protagonist, and he's just like shitting behind a tree, but you see
Yeah.
the shit, just like him shitting his shitter off. And I was like, yeah,
It rocks.
shock me with that.
Yeah. No, I've been really enjoying it, and like, as a you know smaller scale thing within that world,
Yeah.
it's quite refreshing. Actually, it's nice.
And I recognize nobody, which I love too.
Yeah.
It's like he's just, they write something great and then they get, actors that probably, haven't had that kind of opportunity.
Yeah.
Like that. Now, there are definitely people in Game of Thrones that have, been around, but
Yeah.
I felt like Game of Thrones pulled a lot, like we got a lot of new faces,
Absolutely. No,
even though they've been working in the industry for like 30 years, but
yeah.
you know,
Um, and it's like
time's relative.
genuinely funny as well. I would say, like, I think there's some really good jokes, and like how they talk to each other. It's very like, I like the Baratheon Lord is very hilarious in how he talks to
This
people.
is antlers.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
rocks.
I want to wear those too.
It's a great crime.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so as we bring me joy this week is, so there's like, and I've been listening to it for a few months now, but there's a radio station I came across called NTS. It was basically one of my favorite radio stations in the UK is Radio 6. I just kind of love what they play, like, and the kind of, because like it's called Six Music, and you're thinking, well, are not all radio stations music focused? And I don't really think so. I think most radio stations have a list of songs that they can play, whereas Radio 6 tends to play anything and everything. They play a lot of new stuff, they play a lot of alternative stuff of all sorts of different genres.
I wonder if they have to do, if I don't know, if anyone works in radio or knows the answer to this question, do radio stations have to pay royalties to play the songs, or is that like a way for them to?
I think there's a certain amount of negotiation, and I know even within Radio 6, they have things that they kind of have to play a certain number of times a day, or that
Gotcha.
they can only, like, if one show played one of this artist's songs, the next show can't play. So there are rules still, but they still have more latitude than I think a lot of stations do, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think it's part of the promotional machine. I think radio stations, you know what, I don't know. And if there are people that work in radio, I would love to hear about it.
Well,
Anyway,
the reason, sorry, I'm going to interrupt
sorry.
you. The reason that I'm asking is because I just saw an interview with Timothy Chalamet,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, I have spent, six figures of my own money to play Bob Dylan songs as a musical guest on Saturday Night Live. And I was like, ooh, don't you think he could have just been like, oh, it's cool, just play my songs.
I mean, like in a way, I get it, and like it's a way that these people kind of protect
Yeah.
their work and things like that, you know. But like, yeah, it's and I you think they make alliances at times. Anyway, so but sometimes I don't always get on with that station, and I think it has increasingly become a wee bit more. That I see the formula a wee bit more, and I'm not loving all the DJs quite as much as I used to. So I was pointed in the direction of another radio station called NTS, and NTS is very independent, feels very ramshackle. I have heard on different times DJs talking about them seeing rats in the studio, and also talking about how the switches don't work very well. So it's really thrown together, like, but it's just such a wonderful selection of music. They have a website. On the website, there are just different playlists for different things. They feature like artists that I would have never heard about otherwise. I was listening to 2 hours of this Japanese classical composer. Like he's a modern classical composer called getting his name right, Takashi Yoshimatsu. And it was just wonderful. It was like I was just doing some work and I was listening to this sort of like modern class, like so it really kind of, because this is my only real touchstone for that stuff. Like it reminded me of like Ghibli music and things like that, and like a lot of that sort of stuff, that sort of sound in music that I hadn't heard before. So really wonderful, and it's just such a broad selection of music. It's if you're interested at all in music and like especially alternative music, a term I hate, go and check out NTS. It's really wonderful.
You can probably like stream it, can't you?
Oh, well, absolutely.
Okay.
There is a website, and the website's wonderful. It's worth signing up. It's worth like getting a login and like seeing what they have because you will find something you like
Awesome.
for sure.
Awesome.
So yeah,
NTS, everybody.
NTS. All
I
right.
love it.
So next week we are going to be looking at True Romance. If anybody wants to watch along at home, I'm looking forward to that. Actually, am I looking forward to
I've
that? We'll find out.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, so
I'm
it'll be an
excited.
interesting
I'm
it'll be an
excited.
interesting rewatch. Um,
This did
so
Quentin Tarantino write it?
yes, that's my
Yeah, okay.
understanding. He didn't direct it,
Okay.
but he did write it. Is
Okay.
what I think, or at least he worked on the script anyway. Um, so Beth, can you tell everybody where they can find us and things like
Yes.
that?
You can find us at bendypodcast.com and any of the I mean anywhere where you get your podcasts, but yeah, Spotify if you want to watch us or iHeartRadio and Apple and all
Mm,
the other ones if you want to listen and not see our lovely faces, that's cool too. Just thank you for everyone who's chatting and coming up with ideas and making us laugh on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So it's just been fun interacting with everybody who's tuning in. Tell your friends we exist.
yep,
And yeah, we just appreciate everybody.
love it,
Like
love it.
really, thank
We really
you
do.
for listening to us.
We really do appreciate it for real.
Because
Um,
like if we had zero listeners, I don't know.
yeah,
If we had one, like we just need one, and then we can talk every week. So
it's true, true, and that's all it takes. But if we could get more, that would also be nice.
it would
Um,
also be nice.
but yeah, all right. Okay, folks. In that case, we have reached the end of this week's episode, and as always, I'd like to, or wait, we would like to remind you to stay. Best I'm too much bendy. Wow, first one
Sorry,
to stay
that was
bendy
you. I gave all that. That's all
ever.
you, buddy.
Well, well,
You
well.
want to remind them. You want to do the bendy. All you. I silenced it on purpose.
Controversy, controversy. All right, we love you.
Second fight. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.